Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little lamb. The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
You're fired.
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
We have much great news to share with the American people today as we continue to deliver on our promises. Due to a record-long delay in confirmation and the confirmation process by the Senate Democrats, which I call the obstructionists. Maybe they'll change, but I doubt it for a while. But they are truly obstructionists.
Who have you nominated?
This is our first cabinet meeting with the entire cabinet present. One of the big things that we did, and you're seeing it now with Qatar and all of the things that are actually going on in a very positive fashion, we are stopping the funding of terrorism. We are going to stop the funding of terrorism. And it's not an easy fight, but that's a fight we're going to win. You have to starve the beast, and we're going to starve the beast. If we had the greatest bill in the history of the world on health care, we wouldn't get one vote from the Democrats because they're obstructionists.
But
that's
you
what
don't.
they want to do. That's the game. They think that's their best political game. They're
You
looking
don't
to
have a
18.
bill.
So far, we've had 2 races, and we've won both of those races. They spent millions and millions of dollars, congressional
What?
races. We have another one coming up, and we've been doing very well. But they're obstructionists, and that's sad. We have done, as I said, about as much as anybody ever in a short period of time in the presidency. That's despite tremendous opposition from the other side.
They're the minority.
We have done something that's very special. We'll be having some major legislation very soon on
When?
the dumping of steel in our country, which is absolutely killing our workers and our steel companies.
Do something.
We're going to be having some very major legislation on the dumping of aluminum and various other things into our country,
When?
which is killing our workers. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, my God, what a douche. Okay, can we just say douche? Because that's what he is. I mean, you know, this guy sat there in the Oval Office. It looked like something out of North Korea. This did not look American this morning. It was like they were everybody had to go around the table saying, you are strong, you are smart, you are awesome, you are formidable, you are honest, you are good, you are, dear leader, dear leader. Oh, my God, it was like something right out of Kim Jong-un's cabinet, not the American cabinet. It was unbelievable. And then he sent Sean Spicer out to say things like the president has shepherded more bills through Congress, and the president said this too, than FDR, or as many as anybody except FDR. Just look, let us not turn into what we despise, liars. But they are like world heavyweight champion liars. I mean, he's literally sitting there telling you that he has accomplished, even though the Democrats are obstructionist. You have the majority, sir, in the House and in the freaking Senate, the Supreme Court, and the White House. He's got it all, and he can't move any legislation. So, he was saying, well, we signed more bills than any other president except for FDR. Yeah, here they are, okay? He had something through the Congressional Review Act, which is something that you have to act upon within your first 100 days, okay? That became law in 1996, the Congressional Review Act, where you can bundle a lot of similar bills, right? So these 13 bills had to get through Congress within Trump's first 100 days. And what were those? He repealed internet privacy. Woohoo! And gun control laws that say that even if you're mentally ill, you can have a gun. I feel so much better. And then the other bills that he signed, one appointed individuals to the Smithsonian Institution Board, 2 named buildings, and 1 designates the location for a National Desert Storm and Desert Shield Memorial. Yeah, that's the same as setting up the Tennessee Valley Authority to bring electricity to the entire valley in Tennessee. Yeah, it's the same thing as, the public works effort, the WPA, the National Industrial Recovery Act. It's the same thing as the Agricultural Adjustment Act, which, established farm subsidies during the Great Depression. It's the same. Naming buildings and putting people on the Smithsonian board and, oh my God, and reversing internet privacy. This man is delusional, okay? Can we just say that? It's amazing. But I will say his supporters, they are bulletproof when it comes to facts. They're not going to let one single fact in. It'll never happen. Never, ever, ever. And so we have to, kind of start counting up how many there are. I'll tell you that there's always going to be 33% of this country that is bat crap crazy. And anybody that steps up to the microphone that is strong and wrong is their guy. So ignore them. Ignore them for now. They are sitting there watching things that they think are news. News, they think, okay? They actually believe that this swill is news. Check this out. This is Judge Janine Pirro calling Comey a predator while defending Trump. Is irony completely lost on her? And all of the Fox and Friends family. I mean, you're defending a predator. You're defending a guy who admits that he has to pop Tic Tacs because he might just start kissing you. He just can't help himself. You're defending a guy who says, when you're a star, you could do anything. Yeah, ask Bill Cosby, who had exactly one witness testify in his defense, his lovely wife, Camille. Yeah, that's not going well, that trial. It's almost over. But anyway, listen to Judge Janine.
You know what I think is so amazing about this is that Jim Comey comes across as someone who is so wily and so calculating. He's a predator. He makes the decision that the president is going to lie to him before he even has his first meeting. And so he decides that he's going to start recording or memorizing what was said in their conversations. And then he gets to the point where he says, you know what, I'm going to leak this stuff now. Why is he so comfortable leaking? What is it about his history, his background as a prosecutor? And
I wouldn't put predator and leaking, in the same sentence, Judge Janine. I'm just saying, I think irony is completely and totally lost upon ye. This and Wiley. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, she said, the fact that he's so comfortable that he leaks this to a liberal professor tells me he's a predator. I think the word you were looking for is prosecutor. Although he isn't that either. He's a witness. There will be a prosecutor soon enough. Comey is an investigator, okay? And that is what... And he started taking notes after the first meeting because the first meeting was with the POTUS, the president-elect. And James Comey was tasked with having to give the bad news to the president that there was a PP tape leaker. And that the president was so defensive and so bizarre about his reaction to it, only caring about whether or not he was under investigation to find out if there was really a pee-pee party in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in the room that Barack and Michelle Obama stayed in Moscow, that he obsessed over it to the point where Comey said, there is something wrong with this man. I better write down every interaction that I have with him. And I'm going to ask the Attorney General of these United States never to leave me alone with him. Ew! She's not done.
What I would want to know is he the leaker? Is he the guy who was so comfortable? And the answer to why he didn't leak it himself about the seagulls on the beach and my wife was hogwash. Yeah. It was a distraction. And you know what? He did the same thing just now with the senator. What he said basically was, Lordy, I hope there are tapes. Well, that doesn't answer the question as to why someone else was asked.
It doesn't matter who he leaked it to.
It does answer the question. It completely and totally settles the question. Not only does it answer it, it settles it, it buries it, it puts a period at the end of the... I don't want to say that. Because, the poor Fox girls, they have been accused of bleeding from various, their eyeball, by Trump. No less. And yet they defend it. It's just so sick. Listen, I got to tell you, let's pray that there are tapes. I will say that I do know that a request was made to the Secret Service to find out if they had any tapes. And the reason why they went to the Secret Service is because they were the ones that did the White House tape system when Nixon was president. And they say, no, we don't have any tapes. So I just don't think there are any tapes. Okay. But, she has a thing for Trump. This Janine does. I mean, you could see it in her face every time you could see it in her face when she interviews Trump if any of her face still moved. But it doesn't. But then she decided that she would interview, oh my God, this was a huge, huge mistake, that she would interview Don Jr., who of course has nothing to do with the presidency, right? He's off running the business. And so he never really talks to his father anymore because he can't, although he does give him a briefing every Monday about the business. Huh? So she interviews him. Oh my God. It's Don Sr. versus Don Jr. This really, really blows. Don Jr. completely undercut his father's claim that he never told Comey to back off the Russia investigation. See, the Trumps have it in for the Trumps. They can't stop self-emulating, not to be confused with emolumating. Okay, they just can't stop.
I don't think things have changed. I always said I was never getting involved with the administration.
Right.
But I'm a politically minded guy. I always have been. I was way before we ever got into politics or my father got into politics. But, when I see what's going on right now, when I see what went on for 10 months with the Russia nonsense and the smear, and then we see what happens on Thursday, it's like, give me a break. I mean, they're literally spent 10 months chasing a rabbit down a hole with essentially the sole purpose to try to take down my father. We were vindicated. I mean, totally.
Why do you say you were vindicated?
Look, listen, I think it's clear that, everything that went on in the Comey testimony was basically ridiculous. They're saying, hey, he never asked me to stop a Russia investigation. When I hear the Flynn comments, you and I both know my father a long time.
Well,
when he tells you to do something,
yes.
Guess what? There's no ambiguity in it. There's no, hey, I'm hoping. You and I are friends. Hey, I hope this happens, but you got to do your job. That's what he told Comey. And for this guy, as a politician, to then go back and write a memo, oh, he felt so threatened, but he didn't do anything.
Oh, crap. When my father tells you to do something, you freaking do it. And he may say, I really hope this happens, but what he's telling you is, you freaking get this done. There's no ambiguity in what my father said. Oh, God. What part of obstruction do you not understand, Trumps? Oh, that was so bad. Oh, my God. And the rotten apple obviously does not fall too far from the rotted tree. But just remember, that's Don Jr. Eric is the really dumb one. Wow. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable what's going on. They can't help themselves. They keep on, Lindsey Graham was on Sunday TV and he was saying the same thing that I'm saying, which is crazy. It's cuckoo. It's nuts. It's just, wow, off the beaten path. But Lindsey Graham said, why can't they stop destroying themselves? Why can't he just shut the hell up or just shut up? If he would have just been quiet about this, there would be no obstruction of justice. It would just be the collusion thing, and this would have cleared him. But oh no, he's tweeting till he falls asleep and writing covfefe. Which, by the way, this is very funny. The Democrat from Illinois, Mike Quigley, he actually has introduced a piece of legislation called the Covfefe Act. Yes, Covfefe stands for communications over various feeds electronically for engagement. And he wants to have the tweets of the president be protected under the Presidential Records Act so that if the president deletes a tweet, he would be in violation of the Presidential Records Act and subject to disciplinary action. I don't know if he's serious, but covfefe. Go to randyrhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.